Welcome to Channel 18 News. I'm Jim Rogers. The May Northeast Texas Beef Improvement Organization, or NetBio, preconditioned calf and yearling sale held at the Sulphur Springs Livestock Commission barn Wednesday attracted a full house of buyers, sellers, and visitors and continued the record-setting trend for 2017. Consigners shipped 6,643 head of cattle, calves, and yearlings to the sale, a new record for the May sale. Those calves sold for an average of $875.19 per head. A total of 298 producers from Texas and neighboring states shipped cattle to the sale. In addition to the 31 buyers who bought cattle at the sale, a total of 2,235 head of preconditioned calves and yearlings were purchased through the internet bidding. The next sale will be held in or at the Sulphur Springs Livestock Commission on Wednesday, July 19th. The weaning deadline for calves consigned to that sale is June 4th. The last date for booster shots, June 19th. The July sale will be followed by a sale on September 20th and the anniversary sale, November 15th. The NetBio preconditioned stocker and feeder calf sales gives producers a market to offer their preconditioned calves and yearlings in load lot quantities. NetBio holds 7 preconditioned calf sales per year, which is the marketing arm for members of NetBio. Dismantling Eagle Stadium will benefit not only parking for visitors during football season, but also provide parking for activities such as Hopkins County Stew Contests, parade staging, and other school and city activities, according to Dan Frauenberger, Sulphur Springs Independent School District Maintenance Director.
We are dismantling Eagle Stadium.
Why?
The Eagle Stadium will now become a parking lot for the visitor side of our Prim Stadium, not to mention an asset to the city of Sulphur Springs for any type of activity in the park. Stew contest, 5K run, 10K run, that type of thing. And parade staging. I'm sure this will be utilized a lot for parade staging.
Oh, I bet you're right. Tell you, who's tearing this down?
I always like to save money. So saving money is a thing that I do in my position. So I contacted the Sheriff's Department, and we're using trustee labor to dismantle Eagle Stadium.
Okay, when they dismantle Prim Stadium, they got a lot of the materials.
This material is not worth salvaging and selling. Scrap metal is at an all-time low around here. It costs me more to use my men to take it down and to sell it. So if the county trustees can use this on their trustee farm, more power to them. I think the press boxes here at Eagle Stadium, people will see those as produce stands for their garden areas. A lot of the shade cloth that was around here will be used on their chicken pens, things of that nature. So concrete that we're tearing up, you'll see it in the washouts around the county. So it's just a win-win situation.
You're building a new stadium to replace this one. How's that one coming?
The new stadium, if you drive by and see it, our outfield fence is in place. The poles are, and the mow strip underneath that. We'll get those painted, and we'll put the horizontal pieces in there, and then we'll start to put the R panel or ag panel, whichever one we use on the fence, that'll go in. The visitor side dugout or home, I'm not sure which one they're configuring for what side, but is about halfway done with the split face block. The framing for the press box, foundation is done, plumbing, electrical are in, and the press box is here. We're just waiting on the concrete, and then we'll start that portion. We have the batting cages. All the framework is in place. We're painting the poles. When they're completed painting blue, we will then install the top, the R panel on the roof.
So that should be ready by next February.
Oh, absolutely. We're ahead of schedule as far as the baseball goes. Next Monday, we hope to be nearly 90% complete here at Eagle Stadium. We're looking at our options on the field itself, on turning it into a parking lot. we will begin demolition of the girls' press box at softball. That's phase 2 of that one. So when it's tore down, I already have the new press box for it. It's identical in size, shape, everything, height to the boys at baseball. So we'll start to put it up as soon as the foundation's poured there as well.
You gonna sell off this turf like you did Prim, or just plow it up?
We're looking at our options on that one. Whether we're going to sod the new baseball field, try to move some of this over there. We'll do it the cheapest to the taxpayers that we can do. But it may be a deal where we're selling this grass as well.
And you'll be finished with this one when?
This baseball?
Yeah, Eagle
Demolition?
Stadium.
Demolition probably in another 5 days. 90% complete today, but there's just a few little odds and ends that we'll have to do.
Now you're going to take these bleachers to the softball field.
The bleachers, right? I'm setting on, the majority of them will end up at softball. This first base leg is a little too long for softball, so we'll actually take them, cut them, and recap the ends and put them at softball. Yes, sir.
When scholarships and awards were presented Thursday night during the Silver Springs High School Awards Assembly conducted in Wildcat Lady Cat Gym, Lydia Burleson, valedictorian for the class of 2017, received approximately $1.7 million in scholarship offers. Just over $4 million in scholarships and awards were presented in varying amounts to students. Also, awards for scholastic achievement, including Honor Graduates UIL Academic Competition, FCCLA, Choir and Ensemble, Business Professionals of America, and Perfect Attendance were presented. Burleson, who stated she will attend Yale University, received a Yale scholarship in the amount of $285,000. Also offering scholarships in amounts approximate to or more than the Yale offer were the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, Columbia University, Trinity University San Antonio, Vassar College in New York, and Wesleyan University. Burleson also received several smaller monetary awards and scholarships. Military scholarships were also presented to those who will be receiving the scholarship following their commitment to military service. Commitment to military service recipients include Sloan McGahee to the U.S. Army, Larry Gassaway, U.S. National Guard, Mason Cleveland, U.S. Navy, and to the Marines, Jaden Hall, Isaiah Neal, and Jason Ponce Bonillo. Athletic scholarships totaled over $337,000 and included student athletes in volleyball, football, golf, tennis, baseball, and soccer. Baylor University presented 3 scholarships. Owen Lee received a $127,000 scholarship package. A $79,000 scholarship went to Sarah Anderson, and Sarah Burning received an $88,000 scholarship. Following tonight's news notebook, you can view the presentations of all the awards and all the scholarships as we air the Silver Springs High School Honors Assembly. Here's Don Julian with sports.
Sulphur Springs ISD policeman Norman Sanders has overseen the high school and middle school fishing teams for the past 6 years. Once again this year, some of his student fishermen will be going to a state fishing tournament. I talked about that with Officer Sanders.
We've got 6 kids, 3 teams that are going to state championship at Lake Ray Roberts this weekend. The tournament is a 2-day tournament. It's the 20th and the 21st. And they'll be fishing for scholarship money. And I'm real proud of them. They're all 6 of them are good solid fishermen that have been with me since the start.
Who are these students?
Braden Kaczynska and Matt Reynolds are one team. Sloan McGahee and Skylar Long is another, and then Sam Scott and Hagen Hunt, and they're all, with the exception of Hagen, they're all seniors.
Well, I guess teams from all over the state will be there?
Yes, sir. There's about 250 boats, I believe, that are entered, or and it's a 2-man team per boat, so that's a lot of kids that are going to be involved.
And it's basically just based on weight of fish that you catch?
It's a 5-fish limit for the 2 young men, and it'll be weighed in, and it'll be an accumulative weight. The day 1 and then the day 2 weights will be added together, and the winner will be determined by over the 2-day tournament of how much weight.
Is it all bass fish? Is that
Yes,
right?
all black bass.
Okay. And what did they do to earn going to state? Was there, I guess, some earlier competitions?
They fish 5 open tournaments during the year against other teams, other high school teams in our division. There's 4 divisions right now. We're in the Central Division, and they fish against those schools, and they've done really well over the year.
Yeah.
So.
Have you had kids fish at state before?
Yes, I've been doing this about 6 years.
Wow.
And I've had kids at state every year.
Oh, okay.
So it's quite the accomplishment, though. There's a lot of work involved.
Yeah.
It's a lot of practice. There's a lot of pre-fishing. There's a lot of planning that goes on. The kids get on the internet, and they get on Google Maps, look at the lakes and satellite pictures of the lakes. They have to figure out where they want to fish and how they want to fish the lake, and even the time of year and the weather and everything comes into play. They have to do a lot of planning and thinking about what they're going to do when they get to that lake. So it's not just a go fishing.
Yeah. Is there an adult usually driving for them?
Yes, sir. There's an adult boat captain, and they're all volunteers in the boat with the kids. The boat captain operates the boat, and he's kind of like a coach. He can suggest lures and that sort of thing, but otherwise he cannot help them.
If they catch one that looks kind of small, can they throw it back and try for another?
Yes, that we use the state regulations as far as length of the fish, and some lakes in the state have, like as an example, Lake Fork has a slot limit, and they'll measure the fish, and they have to even think about taking care of the fish all day. When it's in the live well, there's treatments for the water that they put in the water and stuff. There's a lot to this.
Yeah. This started off, like you say, 6 years ago, and it just seemed like from the beginning it just very popular here, and that
Yes.
makes sense. People love to fish around here.
It makes sense when you take into consideration that there's 8 really good bass lakes within 30 to 45 minutes of Sulphur Springs.
Right.
And it just makes sense that there's going to be a lot of good fishermen out there.
You've seen a lot of kids that probably didn't know much about fishing, and maybe especially at middle school, and they've learned quickly.
Yes, there's a couple fishing this weekend that when they first started, they didn't know very much, but they worked hard, and they were fortunate enough to have a really good boat captain, and he really taught them a lot. And now they're just outstanding young fishermen.
All these seniors, they years ago were in middle school, part of your bank
Yes,
fishing.
some of them
team.
were. Yes, not all of them, but some of them. Braden Kaczynska, Matt Reynolds started out in the middle school, and went all the way up through high school.
You've had a lot of support, I think, from sponsors with donations and things like that.
Yes,
to
sir.
help the program.
We've been fortunate. We hadn't had a whole lot of out-of-pocket expense for the kids. The club's always had enough money to keep it going, so they didn't have to pay entry fees and that sort of thing.
Do colleges, do they have any kind of bass fishing? Is there any way to go further with this?
Yes, sir. As an example, Sam Scott has been accepted to Dallas Baptist College, and they have an outstanding collegiate team.
Wow.
And the school over there even arranges for them to have a couple of bass boats a year for their school team. So he's looking forward to fishing. He's trying to get on their team right now.
Wow. It's going to be an exciting weekend for you then.
Yes, it will be. And it will be for the kiddos too.
Wildcats offensive coordinator Matt Young, after the conclusion of spring practices, says this year's Wildcats offense has an incredible amount of potential. He says lots of offensive guys have already played on Friday night, so they have answered the question of can they handle it and play at that speed and physicality. Coach Young says he almost has to control his imagination about what is possible with this group. He says he has a lot of guys who can contribute. Coach Young says he's deep at wide receiver and running back. He adds he has multiple H-backs. On the offensive line, Coach Young says there may be one player among the ones he will be depending on this fall who hasn't played on Friday night. He likes the senior leadership of several veteran players: quarterback Ryan Humphreys, wide receiver Simeon Taylor, offensive lineman Norris English, and running back Lawrence Worth have 2 years on the varsity, and offensive lineman Jesus Olivo played last year. Wide receiver Taylor has been turning heads with his play this spring, and Coach Young says Taylor is healthier this spring. He also likes some of the little things he does that makes the team better. Head football coach Greg Owens marveled recently about the Wildcats' 2 varsity quarterbacks, Ryan Humphreys and DeCorian Young. Both are athletic and speedy, and they can also catch the ball if they're called upon to do that. Coach Young says both are great competitors, and he says they grasp the offense in its entirety. He adds both the offense and the defense benefited this spring from going head-to-head against each other so many times.
Thanks for watching Channel 18 News. Have a great evening.